This is the Notion page of one of my clients. It's basic. There's not a lot of information on here, but more importantly, it's very manual. I implemented 3 things that took that workspace from this to this. 3 simple fixes didn't just make it look better and added far more information, but more importantly, it created intelligent workflows, which gave my client lots of time back. And that time was invaluable for scaling her business. I'm Gina. I've spent 20 years building startups, and I now build systems and foundations for founders. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your own workspace and the 3 fixes that actually solve it to implement them yourself. And if you're new to Notion, this video is actually a step-by-step tutorial to set up this divinely useful workspace yourself. So looking at this, we're seeing we've got the core components. We have a task list that can be ticked off. We have a Kanban board to track projects. We've even got content here in a calendar view, and we have all the information that's needed for the brand. This is actually pretty good coverage of what is needed for the business to operate, which is why the business was working. But it's a mess. I can't really see what those tasks are for implementing. I can see a status here, but I don't really know more about the project without going in and looking at it. And this brand information is helpful, but it's again in a different place. It's not very easy to digest, and I imagine this bit gets lost quite easily. Now, this isn't actually a problem with Notion. This is a problem with the structure, and it comes down to the 3 core things that will fix that, which are proper databases, linked views, and relations. So the first rule for Notion is that everything is a database. This task list looks organized and it has the satisfaction of ticking off when you finish something, but it lacks any substance. You actually need to be able to sort, filter, see what's due when, and what client it's related to, all at one glance, which is all possible by doing this as a database. A database set up with a checkbox at the beginning holds the exact same information, but with structured entries with the ability to have proper properties, statuses, due dates, owners, so you can work smarter and faster, knowing what's overdue, sort it by priority or group it together. So this one change from a to-do into a database will fix a huge amount of your mess and make yourself far more efficient. Let me show you how you do that incredibly quickly. So if we start with a /data and create a database inline, we want to click New Empty Data Source. This is something brand new. This is your task list. We will call it Task List. We will add the property of checkbox, so it has that satisfying tick. Move it to the left. The name is going to be the task. We're going to add in a due date. And we're going to add in a multi-select for a type, so we can see what type of task it is. Now, this is everything that you need to actually start with your task list. We can take these tasks and add them into this database. And already this is far more intuitive because we can add due dates. We can add types. And we can now create a filter on this task list to only show unchecked so that when we tick them off, they disappear. If this is as much as you do today, then it is a win. I've linked a free to-do list in the description of this video, which is set up properly to immediately give you that dopamine of the first fix of setting up your Notion properly. So let's keep going and give you the next fix. The reason I say that everything in Notion should be set up as a database is because it means that we can manipulate the data to our advantage. So this client had all her tasks here, and then she would copy and paste them into a separate page for each of the projects, and then copy and paste them again into another separate page for any of the content that she was working on. That means that the task was sat up here in our task list, here in our project, and in our content calendar as well. Now, when I click to update these, nothing updates on the top here. Not only are you wasting time copying across information from one place to another, it also means that you waste that time going and updating everything in several different places. It's a bit of a mess, and to be honest, it's a bit of a waste of your time. Plus, you have to remember to go in and do all of those updates. Imagine if you were in this project and hadn't realized that you'd sent the invoice to the client because you ticked it off in your to-do list up here. That's why we introduced the concept of linked views. Now, a linked view is basically that one database of information showing up wherever you need it that you can filter each time. So let me just very quickly demonstrate what a linked view of a database is and how you set it up. If we go into this project and instead of typing out the tasks ourselves, instead we do /link and get our linked view of data source, choosing our task list, we can see the same information in this page as you can see in this table. Anything that we add into this database will also be shown in this database. We can again add our filter for unchecked, and anything that we update here also updates in our main task list. You can have limitless linked views of data sources all over your Notion space. So the first fix to set up everything as a database really feeds into this second fix because it means that using linked views, you can see that information anywhere. We can have that task list in our projects, we can have that task list in our content calendar, we can have that task list near our brand. All we need to do is do that /linked, or we copy these dots here and literally choose copy link, go to where we want that information reference again, paste and choose linked database view. Now these two fixes have already made that page more intuitive, but let's take that third and really pull it all together. If we look back at this page, we have the basis of a good workflow. We have our project tracker Kanban board that we've now linked into our to-do lists. Now, if you want to build out this project tracker for yourself, like my client already had, it's so simple. All you need to do is create another database, add in your project management statuses, and then go across to these two lines and turn the layout into a board. This is a very simple way to do that. To add your own statuses based on your project management, all you need to do is create a new page and then go into your status, edit this property, and add in any stages that you use along your project management. Again, if you want to just grab this for yourself free, you can grab your own from the link in the video. There are a few resources in this video, actually, if you're a founder, if you're thinking of starting your own business. But this project tracker that my client had whilst working is again not that effective. It doesn't actually have a connection to any of the other workflows. So even though we have now got that linked view so we can see any updates that are referenced, filtering is going to be done by the type that we have rather than making it super intuitive. And with this project setup, I've clearly got this project here that links to this piece of content here, but I have to go into each one separately to see the information and to update them. If I want to know what's going on in this project as a whole, I can't just see it all in one place, and I definitely can't tell what is related to the projects here. A relation fixes this. Now, a relation in its simplest term is taking those databases, all of those different databases your business needs for the different information workflows you have, and linking them together so that not only can you see information through the views, but you can assign different databases into different sections of that one database. It sounds confusing, but it is completely life-changing. So let me show you very simply what a relation is and how it fixes these multiple spaces into one workflow. To set this up, we are going to look at our databases as their original table databases. Our task list is already set up as a table. We are going to go to these lines and do the layout table for our projects. And then we're going to do the same thing for our content calendar, layout table. Now, these three sections are all linked together. We have our main projects, which tend to have content coming off them, and we have tasks and to-dos. This database was set up as three separate pieces. To get the power of relations, all we do is we create a property, a relation, and relate it to the other databases that we're using. So we've got three databases here and we're going to link them together. So we're going to choose content calendar, and we're going to make it a two-way relation, and we're going to add that relation. As you see, it has popped up on both. So now our content calendar and our task list are related. So now we need to relate our task list to our projects in the exact same way. Relation projects, two-way relation, add relation. So these are related. And then finally, to complete that whole circle, we want to make sure that we are relating our projects to our content calendar with a two-way relation. Now, the way to check that this is working is just to click into any of these fields here and see if your list of projects comes up. As you can see, this is showing the data from this database. So I can go and add my Spring Candle launch into my Spring Candle launch project, and it will show on this database as well. I can relate this not only to my content, but also to my projects as well. Now let's move this back to the working views of those databases to show you just how powerful this is. In the simplest of terms, when I go into my project, I can see that I have content attached to this project and I have a task. If I'm working from this project base, it means I can go back and forth and see the exact information needed and see the task needed and do it all in one place. When this task is done, it disappears from my task list. If I want to go back into my content and I want to edit this and write information here, I can do it all in one place. Notice how I'm not navigating away. So in the first instance, you have linked these three things, meaning that everything related to that one project is in one place in these properties. Now, if we wanted to take this a step further, what we want to create is a template that is utilizing those three fixes we have done. The three fixes are setting everything up as a database, using linked views, and using relations. So let's bring this all together to make this notion even more shiny and exciting. We are going to do the drop-down arrow here and create a new template in our projects, because our projects is kind of the home of where we're working. This is going to be a project template. And in this, we're going to use our linked view. So we'll do /linked view of data source. We are going to choose our content data source. And then we're going to come underneath and do another /linked view of data source. And we're going to choose our task list. So those databases are now showing all that information in the same place. What we are then going to do is we're going to add a filter to this. And that filter is going to be the relation. So in our content, we're going to relate this back to our project. We're going to choose project template and we're going to save. We're going to do the exact same thing for our task list. We're going to choose our projects and we're going to choose project template and we're going to save. Now to make this the correct view for our workflow, we're going to go to settings here and change this to our content calendar. And this is going to remain as our checkbox, but we're going to add on that filter of unchecked. So filter, add filter, checkbox unchecked. So we're only seeing tasks we haven't completed. To save this, we're just going to click it anywhere and it's going to close it down. So those are the three fixes in place: task listed database, linked views of information, and relations. This now looks a lot tidier. This is how we save that time. Let's say we are sitting down to do our planning. I do this on a Sunday, you can do this whenever you want. And we have a new project. We are going to create a new project and open our project and create our project template. In this, you can see that template is here already populated. So we can change this to summer launch and we can start adding in what we want to create. Now, I want to write out all my tasks and to-dos here with their due dates. And I also want to plot in the content that I want to do for this launch. I can give myself even more information by clicking on these settings and showing what platform and what the status is. And there I have my new project management. So instead of going into this workspace and having my to-dos in a simple list that doesn't connect to anything, I can come into this workspace and see what my next actions and to-dos are. I can sort this by due date. I can get rid of tasks that are done. I can see what project it is related to. I can come into that project and I can see not only the tasks that are remaining to be done, but also when the content is going out and go directly into that content and work on it from there. Those three fixes have taken that workspace from blocks of information, all completely disparate, into one workflow where wherever you update, it is referenced in the other parts of your business. And this is Notion at its simplest form. This way of building out databases and information into processes and workflows that mean with one click, you can update everything in your workspace and your business. not only means that you are on top of everything that's happening in your business, but it also means you save hours and hours of admin every week, you never lose information, and you are able to focus on the things that move your business forward. And that is what I specialize in. If you already use Notion and you haven't implemented these 3 things, please do go and do it today. And if you use Notion for business, I have taken my 20 years of business building experience and created the complete business blueprint. This is an advanced version of this workspace, which has every single workflow process that you need to start, grow, and run a business, plus over 50 templates built from years of knowledge of what actually makes businesses work. And if you are new to Notion, please do check out the rest of my resources. It's an incredibly powerful business tool, and if used properly, will save you time, money, and energy. I hope you found this useful. If you do just one thing today, grab yourself that free task list and make your life and your Notion less of a mess.